And we're just 5 minutes away from StageToStream.tv. Share the stream now, invite your friends, and come join us in just 5 minutes' time. StageToStream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre in Skegness. And now, live from the Neverland Theatre, your host, Gary Starr. Hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome to StageToStream.tv, live from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. How are you all today? Hope you're well. Hope you've had a wonderful day doing whatever you've been doing out there in lockdown town. Yes, indeed. We've got a cracking show for you this evening. Yeah, true story. Before we start, what I'm going to ask you to do, of course, as we always do, because we've got a new mission right now. We need to get more followers and more likes. Yes, that's happening. So share the page, give it a like, give it a little thumbs up, a heart, whatever you want to do. Just not an angry face. Join us. Let's share this community. Let's get people talking. And speaking of talking, who's on the show tonight? Let's find out. Live tonight on StageToStream.tv, the man they call G, and Vicky Wilde and Sarah Hassell. All live here tonight. Yes, that's happening this evening. I'm really looking forward to tonight. We've got lots to chat about, lots of things to do. And of course, if you want to get social, there's only one way to get social right now, and that is to talk to Right Hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right Hand Ruthie.
Yeah.
Hello, Ruthie.
Hello.
Are you well?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yes, very good, thank you. Yeah.
Wonderful.
How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, yeah. In the world of the moon, what's going on?
Well, Perseverance landed on my face last night.
Did he?
NASA's new rover.
What? Oh, no, that's Mars.
Oh, yeah.
And you probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, it's very good. How are you? Have you had a nice day?
Yeah, it's been all right.
What have you been doing?
Bit of this, bit of that, as always.
Yeah, don't matter, does it?
Struggled to write a poem today.
I saw, but luckily you've got people out there with a severe intelligence because they were giving you rhyming words. I was watching that during the sort of countdown.
It's become a collaboration.
Ruthie, right hand Ruthie.
Right hand Ruthie.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but
I like it that much. I thought I'd play it again.
It's a good song though, right?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say it's become a collaboration.
Yeah.
It's a joint effort.
Everybody's joining in tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. So
Take the night off.
you could do, but whose face would I look at? It's a true story. What have you got to tell us? Anything exciting? I see you've been doing not poems tonight, but fun facts.
Fun facts for Friday.
Any other fun facts you've got?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so
Go on.
the average human farts 14 times a day. Wait for it. And those farts leave the body at 7 miles per hour.
You've put us in the gutter, Ruth. We're talking about trumping now.
7 miles.
Oh, here we go. This could take a while.
7 miles an hour.
Amazing.
That's madness.
It is madness.
Who measured it?
And how? Have like a cup,
Yeah, maybe.
a mug.
Yeah.
Good. Well, more of those fun facts from Ruthie this evening. Good. Well, happy days. To everybody out there joining us, welcome to StageStream.tv. If you're watching this on catch-up, hello. Where were you? Join us live every night at 6 p.m, Monday to Friday. Are you still going? You're still thinking about the speed, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
Anyway,
Dear.
good.
Yeah, no, that's good. Just while you're getting over it, Ross Gunning's popped up in the chat. Hi, Ross.
Oh, how's the head?
Yeah,
But it's cold.
He's been shaved. He's
has.
been shaved down for charity, and also it's their live show tonight.
It is.
it is.
Yes. Ross, pop the link in the chat for me.
Yeah,
Pop that in there.
there you go.
Yes.
So if people want to get social tonight, as I'm sure
yeah.
they will do, what do they have to do, Ruthie?
I forget that's the main part of the reason why I'm here.
No, you're here because I like top banter, and so do the people out there, apparently.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to get in touch tonight, it's very simple. There's a range of options for you. You choose the one that suits you best. The main one, which most people choose, is to hop onto the Facebook and go to stagetostream.tv. As always, we are sharing this far and wide on all of our other pages. So do make sure you're watching it on the main page. That's you, Adam Fielding. If you're on the wrong one again, come on over to stagetostream.tv. Hop into the comments, give me a wave, say hello, tell me your fun Friday fact. Why not? Or you can send me a message in my inbox, or alternatively, you can text or send me an iMessage or WhatsApp.
I was going to say, yeah, WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Or text, yeah.
And what's the number, Gary?
The number is 07510891005, stagetostream.tv, live.
There you go. It's good, isn't it?
See, 5 and live, that rhymes.
Oh,
I'm good at
everyone's a poet tonight.
this. I'm always a poet.
Do you know what? It's because over the week, I've realised every day of the week ends the same, apart from Saturday. Oh, no, Saturday doesn't.
They've all got day at the end.
They've all got day at the end, yeah. So trying to find other words that rhyme with that and make sense.
Here's the thing.
What?
Don't start with the day of the week as your end of your first line.
Well, how would you start it?
Well, you could say something else. You don't have to go, it's Friday.
Well, people might not know what day it is. It's lockdown. It's all
You
confusing.
could say, today is the last day of the week.
Ooh, what rhymes with week? Sheep. Sheep does not rhyme. Oh,
Good.
Anyway,
I'm glad you're here.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking very white tonight, moon facing. I think.
Am I?
I think you might be close to the light.
Oh,
Yeah. Step into the light, Ruthie. Yeah. You're getting like really white.
shall I just sink into the background a bit more?
You could urge back a bit if you want. It depends how white you want to do. You're like glowing.
Am I?
Yeah, that's good though.
Just put a filter on me.
What kind of filter?
Cat filter.
I'll work on that.
Did you see that one with the lawyer? I think it was a couple of weeks ago,
I
and he
did
got
see that,
stuck with a
yes.
cat face on him.
I did see that. You're right. Yes.
Hilarious. I laughed for hours. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Ross Gunnins popped into the chat, and he has put the link to Movies to Musicals, which is on tonight. It goes live. So do make sure you click the link. Give it a like as well. It's at 7:30 tonight, and it features the incredible kids cast and musical theatre, as well as video messages from West End stars. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. That there's some good stars on that.
Certainly is. So definitely hop over there. I'm going to go back to the chat because I was just scrolling.
Go to
through
the
that.
chat. Yeah,
I'm in the chat.
I've just
Right.
realised I didn't set up Zoom, so I wasn't in my own waiting room.
Oh dear.
I know, right? It's crazy. It's all good. I'm there now. That's all that matters. So, what's happening in chat, Ruth?
I don't know. I've lost it now because I was too busy.
That's how pro we are this evening.
See-
I forgot about Zoom and the guests, and Ruth forgot about all social media.
Yeah.
We may as well pack up now.
Should we go?
Yeah,
We'll just go.
Stop the stream.
Hi everyone. Let's have a look. Darren Kirk. Hi Gary and Ruth. Take off the moon. Wow. Take off the moon filter first.
Imagine what would happen if you actually drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know you don't.
Do you know? Did you know though? I bet you didn't know. When I was really little, about 6 months old.
Hold on a minute. It's time for Ruth's interesting story.
So when I was about 6 months old, I had a bit of an aversion to milk. Just didn't like it, wouldn't drink it, not happy about it. So I just used to drink, water, juice, anything like that really. And then as I was growing up, orange squash became it still is. I love orange squash. Fruit fusions, it's great. If you've not tried it. Anyway, I digress. Squash is like my drink of choice, orange squash. Anyway, but when I was a kid, I drank too much of it and actually went orange. I was a carrot baby.
And there's more of that tomorrow and Harry's come up with a better one, which is Ruth's Rambles.
Harry, This friendship's wavering.
I know, but really, I mean, that is interesting. You went orange, though.
I did. I went orange.
Like an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, carrot baby.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Well, there we go. Happy days.
Still don't like milk.
You don't like milk?
No.
I'll tell you what we should try.
What?
Rat's milk.
Rat's milk?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
What's rat's milk? Have you ever milked a rat?
It's just very difficult to get out.
Rat's milk? That's weird. Hippo milk, however, is pink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. Okay. It's been lovely chatting, Ruth.
You're welcome.
Don't forget, if you've got any questions this evening, then all you've got to do is contact Ruth. She'll be over there in Social Media Corner.
I'll be here all night.
She's there all night.
All night.
Jump on, have a chat with her, say hello,
me
and
sane.
keep her sane, and teach her some new rhyming words, and that would be fun. That would be good. We have got our guest coming up very shortly indeed. This is very exciting. It's almost time for our first guest, but before we bring him on, let's have a look what he's been up to.
Please welcome the one and only Sir Granddaughter. Happiness, happiness, the greatest gift that I possess. I thank the Lord that I've been blessed with all my share of happiness. And speaking of which, here's the Muppets. Why are there so many songs about rainbows on what's on the other side? It's so chilly up in Scotland. You know what we do before we make love? Coldplay. Look how the stars, look how they shine for you. I feel a wrinkle and I want to paint it black. That kind of anymore I have to paint it black. I thought I'd do something a bit different now. I thought I'd sing you a song that no one knows the words to. Myself included. Barack Obama, Barack Obama, Barack Obama. I'll have a pound of bananas.
Here, she got terribly bruised. Here, she came home with a sprained ankle.
That's a nasty sprained ankle.
She was in a lot of pain, she was. You should have seen her lying there in RCE like she'd had a cockatoo, really.
That's someone's pet's got out, that is.
That's unusual, that, isn't it, around here?
Yeah, certainly not indigenous.
No, it's in the bushes.
It's in
Marriage is basically like a dishwasher. It is, it's like a dishwasher, because when you first get it, you think, this is absolutely brilliant. This is the best thing I've ever had in my life. And then a few years go by, you know, and you start thinking, do you know what, it'd just be quicker and easier if I just did it myself by hand. It's a song originally recorded as a duet between Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand. See if you can spot the difference. You don't say you need me. You don't sing your love song. You don't bring me flowers in me.
Yes, indeed. The man they call G. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm very well, thanks. It's good to see you too.
Yes.
It's nice to see another human face.
And look at us. We are both incredibly handsome and we look almost alike, I feel.
Just slightly, yeah, there's definitely a resemblance, yeah. Two brothers from another mother.
Yeah, I don't know how people are going to cope tonight with this much attractiveness on one screen. It's just going to...
There's a lot of hair in one place.
Yeah, yes, and it's to our credit. How's it going with you? Are you well? Are you all happy and wonderful?
I am well. I'm about 3 stone heavier than when I started lockdown last year. But apart from that, yes, it's it as people like to say nowadays, it is what it is. Yeah, ticking over. I'm doing my live shows on Facebook, and that's that's been a lot of fun.
That's good. Well, let's. We're going to talk about your show very shortly indeed, because it's amazing. I enjoyed watching that immensely, and the chat's already jumping on, going how great you are at Chroma and various places, which is wonderful. How did you get into this? How, you know, what? Because obviously you do some incredible impressions. Where did it start for you?
Well, the entertainment thing sort of came, I think, after the impressions. I've always done. My dad used to do impressions, and I think a lot of impressionists start when you're at school and you sort of take the mickey out of the teachers. So I think that's probably where I started doing voices. And I used to watch a lot of sort of old sitcoms and things like that. And there's so many rich characters in old British sitcoms that you sort of pick, or I certainly pick them up. It's just something that I've always done. I pick up accents and voices, little quirks that people have. The entertainment thing sort of came in afterwards, because I was always really shy and I never really had that drive. Some people say, you know, I knew from the age of 2 that I wanted to be on stage, and I never really had that. I was really shy until about the age of sort of maybe 17 or 18. And I really sort of got that bug of like, I want to get on stage now. I had that taste of doing some sort of performances with college, and thought, I quite like this. This is nice. And then I got interested in music at the same time, and it all sort of built from there. And my first job in the business was Butlins Redcoat, and that was in 1998. So a few years back. But a good way to start.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was just a few years ahead, because I was 95 was my first year. So yeah, the same sort of thing. Never did anything before that, and then just kind of got into it. So what about the impressions? Obviously through Butlins and stuff. What was your kind of your first sort of go-to with impressions?
I've always been a huge fan of Billy Connolly. He's always been one of my heroes. So he's one that I tend to sort of find very easily. He's kind of a go-to. And my dad's Scottish as well. So I was introduced to sort of a Scottish sense of humour and that accent from an early age. But I think it depends what mood I'm in, because sometimes it will be something like Joe Pasquale's really very popular. He comes in really quickly, because sometimes when he's being interviewed, he's quite low down there like that, and he's not quite a squeaker. But when he goes on stage, he goes ever so high, and he's like that all the time. It's really quite strange.
That's amazing. I love that. And that was an incredible Billy Connolly impression. So, you know, fair play to you there.
Sounded just like him, didn't it? Yeah.
It's like he was in the room. So after Butlins, where did you go after that?
I worked for what used to be British Holidays, which is now, they're under the banner of Haven and British Holiday. They all sort of came into one company. Which is one of the biggest holiday companies in the UK now. So I worked for them for 2 seasons. And then I joined a group called the Brother Lees.
Oh, amazing.
Which, well, actually, I'm sorry, before that, I moved to Norfolk, and I was working in a cabaret club over here in a place called Hemsby. Because I live in Norfolk. I've lived in Norfolk pretty much solidly since 2001. And Hemsby is a wonderful place. It's like going back in time. It's still the same. It hasn't changed since I've been here, and I don't think they changed it since about 1953. When I arrived there, there's a real charm. I don't mean that in a disparaging way. There's a real charm about the place, and a lot of Norfolk is like that. It's got this old school feel to it. Cromer's lovely. Cromer feels very much untouched, but Hemsby is. When I first went there, I said, it's like walking onto the set of Carry On Camping.
Amazing.
You know, expect some Kenneth Williams to do. I go, no, Nathan, it's just got that vibe to it. Brilliant. So I was there, and then I joined the Brother Lees, who the Brother Lees started sort of back in the 60s, and I think they were a legitimate band to begin with.
Yeah.
And I want to say they were called Barry Lee and the Planets back then. And I think Barry Lee is still working. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. But I was the last original member. Once the Brother Lees became a trio, they became a comedy trio, and the gimmick with the act was they did what they called triplicate impressions, which is the 3 guys doing the same impression at the same time. Yeah. So it was old school stuff. So Bruce Forsyth and sort of Morecambe and Wise things like that. And the shadows, there was a great shadows routine in that. And it was a lot of fun. It was gimmicky. There was a lot of wigs and props and things. And I replaced the last original member. It was Tony. And that was the start of 2002. And I was in the act till the end of 2005. So nearly 4 years I was in the act, and then the act disbanded. But they've been going since early 60s, I believe. So I think I'm right in saying there were 11 members altogether over the years.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to be a part of, and that was my first real experience of touring. And because we went all over the place with the act, and that was it was great fun. But after a while, from my point of view, the act had kind of run its course.
Yeah.
Certainly from my perspective, because it didn't really evolve in the whole time I was in it. And I've always been somewhat of a free spirit. I think you could probably resonate with that yourself.
Absolutely.
In that I like going off script. If the audience sort of takes me somewhere, I like to be able to do that. So I always sort of prided myself after that when I went solo, which was the start of 2006, basically. I always said, right, I'm not going to have a running order. I'm not going to have a script. I don't want to use props. I'll still maybe do some of the comedy stuff, but I wanted to do more singing. But I never wanted to really plan it out and go, right, it's going to be this, and this, which is what it always felt like it was.
Yeah.
So I wanted it to be a bit looser, a bit freer. And then that was, like I said, 2006. And here we are 15 years later. And my act has evolved to something along the lines of what you showed in the clip just then.
Yeah.
Which was in Chroma a couple of years back. So.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, and I love the idea of sort of being that kind of free spirit, as it were. You know, just kind of letting the act go. Because sometimes, most times, as we know with audiences, you have to be able to do that, and sort of. I think that's one of the highest skills, to be able to sort of adapt and just ad lib and go off cuff, but keep that structure still. So fair play to that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's something I always like doing. I kind of got into writing more since. I've always loved panto, so I've done a few pantos now, and every time I've done a panto, I've been partially, at least, involved in some of the writing of it.
Yeah.
Which has been really nice. It's a nice way of sort of flexing that side of my creativity. And I think that there's something to be said for if you can write something and have somebody laugh at that, and it's something that you created.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling for me.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate sort of. If you can make someone laugh just from something you thought, oh, that might be funny, because you never know until you get an audience in front of you. You never know. Is it going to be funny? Is it 100%? You never really know.
Yeah, no, it's I kind of I think because I'm a fair few years ahead, I kind of, because I did all the shows and wanted that, and then now I've kind of gone, I prefer sort of stepping back a bit more and more, and I've stepped back more and more. So I'll now do. I love the writing side of it. I love the creative process. I've found a love for sound and lighting and the entire creative. Probably because I'm a control freak and stuff. So you've got that. You've got that to come.
Yeah, you get to have your say in everything that's happening there.
And also, I was terrible at learning scripts. So using the I like to ad lib and make things up. When you're the writer and director, you can kind of do that and go, well, I meant to say that because I can change it when I want. So that's good. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
So with obviously with the pandemic and all this that's gone on, how what's happened with you and your sort of act? How's it happened with you?
The work effectively dried up. There wasn't really anything, and it was a case of you kind of either have to adapt or stop completely, because there wasn't really anything that came in. So there was a period towards I think sort of the middle or end of March last year where I just kept getting phone calls and emails saying that we're going to have to postpone, or we're going to have to cancel, or we'll do it again later in the year, sort of thing. And of course, for the most part, that didn't really happen. And there was, I got a couple of gigs that did stay in, because the places they were, like holiday parks, they managed to do shows outside, or they had big enough venues that they could socially distance people. But it was tough. And I think it was 2 weeks into it, after we went into official lockdown, that I started doing my online shows, because I thought I have nothing else to do. And I don't work well, or I don't function well when I don't have any work on. So I like to be busy and have something to aim towards. So by putting on a show every Saturday, which is something I started doing, and I ended up doing 20 weeks of this, it gave me a focus. Yeah. And also I ended up learning more songs over the last year than I think I've learned in the previous 10, 15 years before that, just because you can't just do the same thing every week. So the online shows that I've been doing, it's partially, there's a lot of music in it, so there's a lot of songs, so singing impressions, some are singing impressions, some are speaking impressions, some are just me singing, and the comedy is kind of difficult to do through virtual means, especially on something like Facebook, where you don't have, you can have comments and things come up, you don't have that immediate audience response, unlike something like Zoom, where you can have that. Yeah. But it's kind of scaled down. It's a different thing. So I've tried to do as much as I can and change it as much as I can each week, so that there's something new every single week. It's a completely new show. So I maybe repeat songs here and there, but that's normally because people say, "Oh, can you do this again?" Rather than it being, "Oh, well, I've run out of things to do." There's so much music out there. There's so much, I hate this term because everyone uses it so much, content. And that word is so overused to me. And it's every time someone says it, it's like they can't think of another word for it. But there's so much music out there, so much scope, especially for what I do, because I don't go, right, it's got to be like this. That I don't want to say that there's endless possibilities with it, because hopefully at some point we can get back to doing what we want to do, or what I want to do, and get back on an actual stage and with a real audience and have that human interaction again. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's amazing that you've done that, you know, and you know, so many that we spoke to have kind of, you know, you hit that decision and you did it very early on. Obviously, you know, after 2 weeks you went, I'm going to do something, you know what I mean, instead of just sitting back and waiting, which I've known people that have done that, and you know, I think you kind of pay for that mentally if you just stop and just, you know, don't do anything. So the fact that you got out and sort of adapted it. This is a conversation that I have with everybody, is the fact of, you know, I think that the way we've sort of embraced technology in the last year, do you feel that will sort of assist in what you do in the future? So almost that you're kind of, you can go out and do your live stage shows, but actually, I've got a day free here, so what I could do is do an online show, you know, and do that. Yeah, absolutely. I think the world has become smaller and smaller, and I've had this conversation with so many different people of saying how technology has changed. Like if you'd gone, say, 15, 20 years ago and this situation had hit us, it would be a completely different situation. The fact that we are able to have things like video call. When I was a kid, the idea of a video call was mind-blowing. That was like sci-fi. Star Trek, wasn't it? It was. You'd have someone appear on a wall. You go, wow, you can actually talk to them in real time. Yeah. So it's developed to such a point which is great, and I think it's a real tool that can be used for the benefit of everyone. And I think part of the problem is not everyone has the access to it, but we're kind of getting more to that point. Yeah. You know, certainly in terms of education and that side of things, that where families who are poorer then maybe haven't got that access. But I think this last year has maybe facilitated that a little bit more. I like to think so. I feel like I've been trapped in a bubble really for the last year.
Yeah.
Sort of very kind of cut off from people, and I've tried not to doom scroll too much because that's it's counterproductive. It doesn't help with my frame of mind or my mindset.
Yeah.
So I've tried to avoid the news as much as possible.
Yeah, I think so.
And try to sort of focus on what I can do for my own mental health, but to try and kind of help lift people's spirits, because part of what has got us through these lockdown situations has been entertainment, whether that's streaming music or watching stuff on Netflix or whatever it may be,
Yeah.
or live shows with entertainers like myself. Whatever that may be, it's a way of people dealing with an unprecedented situation, because none of us have ever had to deal with this before.
No, it's it's certainly a way forward. I mean, you were saying about embracing technology, and and I think that's the thing. I think it's also about having a conversation. I mean, I've had 3 people today literally message me saying, I love what you're doing. We want to do that. How do we do it? But nobody ever asks that question for some reason, So the fact that people are starting to do that, maybe it means that we're getting the message across that we will help, and and people can talk to each other. So I think it's great that people want to do it and want to get out there and get their voice out there and actually keep themselves as sane as they can during these times. And obviously when this is all over, hopefully in several months, or whatever, it's gone. We can continue with this. The fact we have more opportunity to talk to people that we never would do and have these conversations, I think it's amazing. It's really good.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. It's kind of opened my eyes, because I'm a self-confessed technophobe. I don't deal very well with technology, and I'm still getting my head around Zoom calls and things like that. I only got an iPad. Sort of, I think it was about 15 months ago, and that has revolutionized everything for me, because now all of my backing tracks are on my iPad, and I use it for, I'm using it now as we speak to talk to you, and it's helped me so much as a tool for what I do, because I used to use mini discs, and there's probably people watching go, I don't even know what that is, mate. What is it? What is a mini disc still? I know what this is, but what is a mini disc? And it's one of those sort of obsolete technologies that only cabaret artists seem to use for a while, because it was kind of a flexible thing. It's like a CD in a little plastic case. For those of you who don't know.
Was the thing. It was safe. It was safe. There was never an issue with a mini disc. CDs got scratched. Tapes before that just were horrendous for queuing up with a pencil and whatever you did. But mini disc was the first thing that came along that you could go, I've dropped that, I've smashed it about, I can put it in, it will never let me down, it'll always play. And if you got a machine that had an auto pause, life was good.
But you could do editing on it as well. So for the time, the technology, it was really clever, and that was for ages I relied on that. And then I got a laptop and I was using that for my tracks, and then that died. So I was using another laptop, which wasn't the best in the world. So when I finally got this iPad, it's made such a difference.
Absolutely.
And the composing set lists and stuff for each week. It's been quite good fun to do, finding new tracks and tracks that I didn't know existed, that for songs that I've loved for years that I didn't even know I could get hold of, and that's been great.
No, it's amazing. I love it. I'm the same. I'm kind of learning more and more all the time and adding new things and finding new ways. It's amazing. We're going to go to Ruthie right now, who's on social media. We're going to go and see what's going on over there and see if we can get some questions. Hello, Ruthie.
Hello.
Are you all right?
I'm great. How are you?
Yes, good, thank you. What have we got?
Good. So many questions.
Go for it.
So many. Well, first of all, there's lots of love for your online shows as well. That's coming in. Lots of hearts are flying about that, saying you've been getting a lot of people through the darkness of lockdown and everything like that. So that's the main thing that's been coming in. But we've also got lots of questions for you to answer. I'm going to start you off nice and easy because normally I just throw the really hard questions at you, but I'm going to be nice. So we want to know your favourite impression and why.
My favourite impression, spoken is probably Billy Connolly. Billy Connolly's voice has changed as he became older, and I think that happens with a lot of people. But as I was saying to Gary before, it's such an easy one for me to kind of slip into, and it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just something I find very easy to do, so I can sit here quite happily and chat and answer any questions you've got. The greatest of ease.
Love it.
Wonderful.
So yeah, Billy, I always like doing that. That's fun to do. Singing wise, again, it depends on my frame of mind, because there's different voices that have a different vibe to them. Because I'm quite a fan of James Blunt, and I know I'll probably get a slap for saying that, but I always have been. But his music is often quite solemn or somber, and it's not really the stuff that people necessarily want to listen to on a Saturday night. But I like doing some of his songs. So he's one of my favourite to impersonate, singing wise. But I also like the other end of the spectrum vocally, things like Andrew Strong from The Commitments,
nice.
Joe Cocker, and Chad Kroger from Nickelback. Those real gravelly, deep, powerful voices. But I can't do a whole show of that. I can do one song and then have to take a break for about 10 minutes and not do another voice.
Amazing.
So it depends on my mood, I think, is the short answer.
Love it. Ruthie, back to you.
Lovely. Okay, right. What makes you pick a personality or character to impersonate? Is it a case of choosing who you like or who you think the audience might like? Or is it more finding similarities between yourself and said person? Which way
That's
does
a
it
good
go?
question. That is a good question. Often it can be pop culture or it's sort of icons from the past. There's sort of several go-tos from the past that I will like, especially if it's comedy character or performer. Like I tend to find if I watch a lot of stand-up, one person's stand-up, I'll be talking like them for the next week. It's just a quirk that I develop if I absorb. I literally do. I observe and I absorb them. So I don't think there's anything specific that makes me go, I want to do that. There are some voices that I have problems with. Graham Norton being one of them. I haven't quite mastered that, and I don't know why. So it's normally something that if I see what they've done and I find them funny or I like the character, it tends to be that more than anything else.
Love it.
Nice.
Ruthie, we've got time for one more.
Oh no, but I've got so many.
I know.
Okay.
Fly.
Okay, I'll be really, really quick.
Go for it.
So we want to know, this is a bit of a strange one. Can you do an impersonation of Gary Starr?
That's rubbish.
Can I do an
He's already doing it. Look.
I was going to say, it's very visual already, isn't it?
It's like I'm already sat there.
Yeah, I'll need a larger beard.
A bigger beard. Fair enough.
Yeah, I might have to get back to you on that.
That's all right. Have a think about that one.
I need to study Gary for a bit longer.
Yeah, well, now we've got Zoom. That's it. This is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll leave that one there. But we want to know, well, there's actually been a lot of people asking this one for your Muppets impression.
Oh,
Apparently. Is this a...
There's a
We had
routine.
a
I
clip.
do a routine with quite a few different Muppets. I mean, Kermit the Frog. This is our Kermit the Frog. That's always good fun. So Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy. I did that on a radio show once, which was like had a conversation. They said, "Can you have a conversation?" I said, "Hey Piggy, how's it going?" "Hey Kermit," which was fun. A little
Amazing.
bit strange.
I'm happy.
Good fun.
I'm happy.
We like the Muppets.
I'm happy. That's good. Yeah. we can end this happy. Yeah, I'm a big Muppet fan, so that's incredible. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on here. Thank you very much for joining us, and wish you all the best with getting out of this and getting back on stage. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The man they call G.
Cheers.
Thank you, my friend. Bye bye. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to StageToStream.tv, live here from the Neverland Theatre here in Skegness. Wonderful speaking to the man they called G. Really enjoyed that. It was like looking in a mirror of my younger self. Yeah. Are you okay over there, Ruthie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good. I was thinking we should get him back on because we've got so many questions we didn't get through.
Yeah, I know. This is the problem, with only having this amount of time. But we've got so much to get through this evening, as well you know. What's happening in Social Media Corner?
Well, what I have done is I've dropped a few links to the man they call G. So we've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and also a little link there for a show he's going to be appearing. It's an online fringe show. It's the Norwich Fringe Festival they've got going on. So that, it's a fabulous show. So hop on there, have a little look, and you can buy your tickets to that. Lots and lots going on.
Happy days. Right, so we've got something going on that we weren't planning on doing.
Surprise.
Yes. Sarah and Vicky, bear with us 1 second because we're very quickly going to jump on, not literally, but we're going to jump on to Ross Gunning, who was with us a couple of days ago. We're going to say hello to Ross because it's their concert tonight, and we're going to jump in. This is very, very exciting because he's also had a bit of a video sent through, I believe, Ruth.
That's true. Yes, I've sent it through to you on
Facebook.
On the Facebook Messenger.
On the Facebook, yes.
It's a very special guest. It's a little bit of a sneak preview. Can we play it?
We can try.
How exciting.
Okay, I'm going to move things about.
I'm going to give it a shift and we're going to give it a try.
I'm going to give it a shift. This could be interesting, but let's give this a go. So this is, we're going to speak to Ross Gunning in just a moment, but this is Matt Lucas. Let's see if we can find him. There he is, and this is the message that he sent across. Hopefully, when it plays.
Hello, Mr. Lucas here with my first ever moustache, and I just wanted to say I hope you're enjoying this concert of very talented young people up in Glasgow, and lots of love from me, and the theatre will be back soon.
How amazing is that?
Hello.
Yes.
Mr. Lucas here
All right,
with
Matt.
my first ever moustache.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's
now.
enough.
Yeah, that's it. We don't hear it
Honestly,
twice.
who does he think he is?
Who do you think you are? Yeah, so that was exciting, wasn't it? We're going to very quickly chat to Ross, who's out there right now. Very exciting indeed. We're going to find out how it's all going this evening. Let's zoom over now to Ross. Hello, sir.
Hello, from one Matt Lucas to another.
I know. It went well then, the old haircut.
You know what? I'm actually okay with it. I'm getting used to it. I keep looking in the mirror and just thinking, is that me?
It's
But
quite
is.
liberating because I shaved my head, and the great thing is you don't have to keep washing your hair every 5 minutes, which is amazing. So
Yeah,
it's
so
a
much
revolution.
better.
How's it all going?
Good. the nerves are starting to kick in. I'm not going to lie, it feels very weird. I was just saying all day today. I was meant to be at the Glasgow Royal Concert Hall all day today. Normally, I arrive there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm there till about 11 at night. Nothing of that. It feels really strange. At this moment, I'm normally getting into a nice set of tails and just ready to get on stage. But you know what? I'm in the comfort of my own home, knowing that this virtual concert is going out to hopefully thousands of people.
Amazing.
And it's going to be an amazing night.
Amazing. We're sharing the link as well. We're going to jump on there as well, and we're going to be watching a little bit later as well. We're wishing you all the best with it this evening. Thanks for coming back on and showing us your hair. Of course, if you want to watch the concert this evening, we've dropped the link in, and of course you can donate as well to that. It's been a pleasure seeing you, my friend. We must get back. We'll get you back next week, and we can chat about how it all went and maybe get some highlights and stuff. That would be amazing.
Definitely. Enjoy. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. And you
You're
too.
doing amazing work.
Amazing. Thank you, my friend. There we go. Ross Gunning there. Thank you very much, my friend. Always a pleasure. That's exciting, isn't it, Ruth?
Super exciting.
Yeah, there you go. So it's almost time for our next guest this evening. I know.
I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
This is something that's happening in our local area, which is good because I feel like sometimes we get a bit left out up here.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I think so. And the reason we're gonna chat about this as well is it's about getting together and doing things, which is important. It's good. Yeah. Anything on social media? I'm just setting up now. Hello. I'm coming to you in 1 second, but first I'm gonna do this. I'm on it. Oh yes. Yes, indeed. It's time to welcome Sarah and Vicky. Hello, both. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Are you well? I'm going to talk to you first because Vicky's either put on a lovely picture of herself there in the Bahamas or she's frozen. But either way, we're going to talk to you first. How are you, Sarah? Are you well?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Gary. Yes.
Good.
Yes, thank you.
Let's talk to you first while she's gone. She's had enough.
I need my partner.
She'll be back, don't worry. We'll talk to you first because this makes it easier. Tell us a little bit about you personally, first of all, and then we'll speak to... There she is. Look, she's back now. She's moving. Hello, Vicky.
Hello there. Yes, the wonders of technology.
Yeah, we're there.
Here I am.
It's a good way to freeze because I've frozen a few times and I'm always like in some horrific pose. So at least you froze in a good way. Right. We're going to talk to you first of all, Sarah. Tell us a little bit about you personally and what you do, and then we'll come over to Vicky, and then we're going to talk about this new project you're doing. So over to you, Sarah. Tell us about you.
Right. Okay, thank you, Gary. Yeah, well, I'm what I would call a re-emerging actor. So I'm returning to the profession after a long break. I've been a teacher for a long time, and I still hope to sort of do that in different ways. But I did a lot of work back in the 90s in theatre, moved into theatre and education, which kind of got me into teaching, and combined the two for a long time. But interestingly, because of lockdown, the irony is that the theatres are closing and there's a lot of sadness and a lot of negativity. But for me, I've done a lot of work online and I've made connections all over the country that I probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for the situation we find ourselves in. So, I've done a lot of stuff on the stage, but current situation has opened the digital platforms up to me.
Yeah.
I've done online readings, monologues, short plays. I'm involved with groups in Liverpool and other areas, and now I'm thinking let's get Lincolnshire on the map, and I want to do something for our area that I can do, basically.
Absolutely, and completely agree. We're going to talk more about that shortly. But first of all, let's go over to Vicky, who's not frozen anymore. She's here. She's on a beautiful beach somewhere. It looks like Skegness, probably. How are you, Vicky? Are you well?
Yes, I am very well, and I am on a beach, or I'd like to believe I'm on a beach anyway. It's the closest I can get.
Absolutely.
Yes. So my name is Vicky. I have been working as an actor for maybe the past 9 years now, I think it was, since I left. But before the pandemic hit, I was based in London, so I was doing a lot of my work from there. And I found that over those years, I very much operated in a little individual bubble, going for all of those jobs, following the traditional system, and not actually doing very much when it came to collaborating and connecting with other artists. So as challenging as this time has been for the arts, this has been a really fantastic time in many ways for connecting with people virtually and taking that time to reflect on the sorts of work that you really want to make as an artist and putting it out there. So I've really delved into writing as well as acting, taking kind of the reins, the power, and writing the sorts of work that I would like to see or the sorts of roles that I would like to play. And I've had some little small projects along the way that have brought me a lot of inspiration and hopefully some success.
Yeah, I mean, with both of you, you both said the same thing, and we spoke about this earlier when we were doing our video test. You know, just how much technology is. When you look at it, the bonus to all this is it has brought people together, talking to people that you probably never would have spoke to. You know, you kind of you see people pop up on social media and you see them from a distance, but the fact that, you know, we now have this sort of platform to actually talk to each other, you know, it has been an incredible thing for everyone.
Yes, definitely. Because before, I found when I was trying to make contact with casting directors and directors, you'd be sending emails and you'd be lucky if you got a reply. Whereas at the moment, people are generally a little bit more generous with their time. I've had Zoom chats with people that I would really find difficult to get to a coffee shop somewhere and take some time out of their day to speak with me. So as a result, like, mentorship, I have had this opportunity from the BBC Arts, that's commissioned me to create an audio drama that's actually, funnily enough, based in Skegness. And I've had a lot of guidance with that. And now, as a result, I've a really strong idea of how you can get audio dramas out there and what it takes to kind of put it into the mainstream.
Amazing. So how have you found it, Sarah, as well, you know, with this sort of this sudden change, because we did have to learn very quickly with technology. It's been, you know, for me, it's kind of like learn everything very quickly. How have you found it?
Well, I'm like your previous guest, a bit of a technophobe, a bit of a dinosaur. But as Vicky says, you know, I've learned so much, kind of from having to be out here, but also the accessibility of this platform, despite the technical issues and zooming in and out. I found a great deal of confidence from meeting people, and everyone's been very friendly, really sort of accommodating.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really good way of listening to each other and connecting, as we've said, in ways that maybe you hadn't before. So yeah, I think it's been a really positive thing. And you know, I talk to people on Facebook that I wouldn't normally, and I had a conversation this evening with a film director on the other side of the country.
Amazing.
Getting tips about how to get into the business and encouragement and what we're looking at now, collaboration. And so much as I am, as I say, a bit of a technophobe, I've, like Vicky said about her writing, I've taken the bull by the horns and said, no, I've got to teach myself. I've got to do this because it's here to stay. I hear directors talking about the self-tape, that even if we go back in the audition room, the self-tape is here to stay.
Yeah.
So I think we need to embrace it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was something we spoke about last night about self-taping and stuff, and I think it has its place. I think as an initial sort of contact for seeing actors and performers, it's a great medium to see a lot of people that you normally wouldn't, because normally it would be that you would go, we can fit in 20 people today, so we pick the best of what we get through CV wise and hope that those are those are the best and we haven't missed anyone. And then obviously you get people who don't turn up and that sort of thing. But with this this medium that we have now, you have that initial contact where you can literally you can watch 100 people and suddenly get the people that you wouldn't necessarily have picked off a CV, you go, actually they've got exactly what we're looking for. So I think in that respect it's amazing. I think we still need to have that that one-to-one, that where you sit with somebody afterwards. But I think it opens the door for a lot of people that maybe their CV isn't that impressive, but those in person are incredible, and that's the kind of shift with it all, which I think is amazing. So we're going to talk about now. We're going to talk about your new project, and you can choose who wants to be spokesperson on this. This is Lynx Camera Action. Tell us a little bit about it, the sort of background of it.
Sure. So Lynx Camera Action came about after a workshop that both Sarah and I were involved in. And we came away from it having discussed some incredible ideas that people had in the room, work that people wanted to put on, or the stories that they wanted to tell, or things that they'd been inspired by lately, but hadn't yet had the opportunity to do it. And we thought, well, it's all very well us discussing these things in Zoom rooms, but we actually want to start to make these things happen. And as we've been discussing already, that the way that people are coming together quite a lot during this time, particularly throughout the county, we're the second largest county in the UK, for example, I really think that as artists, we are stronger together. The more that we can come together, work on things where there's a kind of a shared artistic vision, the more powerful that we become. So Lynx Camera Action essentially is a way of connecting actors, directors and writers together from across the county to come together, work on a 10-minute short piece, and then we'll have a lineup of several different pieces that will then be performed online as a final showing.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's an amazing idea. As we were discussing earlier, and I discussed with everybody, there's always been this thing of I think in the past, and this is again something that's positive that's come out of this, is the fact of there was always a price involved, and there always had to be a reason why we didn't do things. Whereas now, when you've actually got a group of people coming together that go, let's do it, let's be creative for the sake of being creative, and if something comes from it, amazing, let's build it from that. I think it's a refreshing sort of approach to it all, which is amazing. So you're obviously you've got things online now for people to apply and that sort of thing, and we'll drop these into the conversation as well. How's that been going? Have you had many people come into you?
Yeah, we've had a really good response, haven't we, Vicky? Particularly from writers and actors. And the only thing I want to add to from what Vicky said was that we see ourselves as facilitators. We're not telling anyone what to do.
Yeah.
There's some really, really good stuff out here already that we've been involved in. So this isn't saying, we want to do something better. This is saying we want to do something different.
Yeah.
This is saying we want to enable people to get their ideas out there. The whole idea of Lynx Camera Action is collaboration, as we've said, listening to each other, working with each other, and for me personally, gaining confidence from one another.
Yeah.
Because I find that when I'm on my own, I'm like, can I do that? Is it good enough? Whatever. But when you meet someone like Vicky and other people we've met, you think, actually, yeah, perhaps I can, because they're invested in it.
Yeah.
So that's another positive we hope to come out of this, that there'll be meaningful, high standard work at the end of it, produced by Lincolnshire professionals for Lincolnshire professionals and audiences. And it's been done on other parts of the country. I'm doing something in Liverpool. There's some great work done over there. And I thought to myself, well, why shouldn't I do that in Lincolnshire?
Yeah.
So we kind of thought these things at the same time. And from the response, it seems as if we've got other people thinking those things as well.
Yeah, I think it just initially needs that conversation, and it's breaking down those barriers. Like we say, if there's so much, so many things that aren't done because of the barriers that are in the way of, we don't have this, we don't have this. This is going to cost too much, and there's so much that's lost because of that. Whereas, the fact you're stepping out there and doing this and bringing people together, I think, one of the most important things of getting people to say you can do it, and let's get on and do it instead of just talking about it. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. It's very much a sowing the seeds and getting us like post-pandemic ready. Because now is the time to hone those ideas, get things that are at a level you've like, I've got something to pitch now. So when the theatres do start to open for submissions, or there is the ability to be able to perform something outside, if outdoor theatre is going to be the thing this summer, there's already ideas, there's already a network that's established. So you can essentially be kind of taking the little steps that you need in order to pave the way for future work, which is what we inevitably hope that eventually comes of this.
Yeah.
And not just within the county, but being able to kind of make a little bit more noise, so that it eventually could have a wider reach beyond the boundary of the county.
Yeah. No, absolutely, and when you look at it as well, we're all preparing for that time when we can get back to theatre, like you say, and outdoor theatre, which we personally are already doing, but to push more stuff out. But I think as well, embracing what we already have, at the same time, and taking that into the future as well. Of pushing the online content, because you can get that to everybody, without having to travel, to a specific area to see it. You can push that out to literally the world. So I think embracing all these things is very important, and I think it's a good start to a journey that's going to prove to be a rather interesting one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, Lincolnshire was quite a rural county, so I definitely felt growing up when I was first an aspiring performer, frustrated that I wasn't in the heart of London, or I wasn't in the centre of Lincoln. So getting access to the main theatres was difficult. But actually there are benefits in developing work online, is that it can bring those people that might otherwise feel isolated or out of the loop into it. And it also means it doesn't always have to be so kind of city centre centric or London centric.
Yeah.
That the digital platforms have got a lot of possibilities. And I know there might be people that like, not another table read over Zoom, or not another online performance, but it's constantly evolving. Like, for example, your stage to stream platform.
Yeah.
And this probably wouldn't have been possible like day one of lockdown when it first started. Look how things have evolved, and they're constantly improving.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something we've pushed towards is now where we can take this, we initially set up the online shows and stuff, and sort of used other websites and platforms to kind of push our material out and our shows out, but then you always have those issues that come with that of how I want to advertise something, market something, and get stuff out there. And obviously that wasn't working for me, and I know for a lot of others. So we've now adapted Stage to Stream, which initially was a platform where you could rent out online shows, which is where we've gone with that. So our pantos and the horror plays that I've done in the past are on there now, and then from there we can now go, right, let's start producing shows, let's start producing plays, and get them online and push that ourselves, without everything else that's involved, of other companies wanting to, take everything and get involved in that side of it. So that's where it started for this. And this now kind of lies in quite a nice place for where you're going as well, because, you have them facilities. And like you say, not another Zoom read over, or another show that's done over Zoom. And, there's a lot of people that are guilty of it. The BBC did it, with their Christmas panto. I was really looking forward to that, and they did it over Zoom. And I'm like, with the technology we have now, it could have been done in a different way. The film studios and TV studios have found ways to make things happen. Whereas, those people with all that money and all that technology go, we'll do it over Zoom, it'll be fine. So for that, that's kind of spurred me on to do more and go, well, actually, we have a theatre now, and we've changed the stage to film on it, so we can do green screen or normal filming and that side, and so we've pushed that so that now we can film legally at a social distance. We can still do that, and I think these kind of things now sort of sit within which is why I think we were drawn to what you were doing, is because it kind of sits within what we want to do, of going, it's not all about, hire the place, hire the film crew, hire all the stuff, or do it cheap on Zoom. There's that middle ground where you say, let's just create something, which I think is, is a great place to be, and one we wouldn't be in if it wasn't for, hate to say it, being locked down for a year.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as Sarah said at the beginning, she's re-emerging. I think we're all re-emerging. We're all going to have to and adapt to new ways. And I think this is the time to seize the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the word opportunity springs to mind for me. That you're providing opportunities, Gary. We're providing opportunities sort of for ourselves initially, and then for others as well. And it's now is the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, isn't it, to sort of get out there and be seen and work and produce and create.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, an opportunity we wouldn't have had. We said this earlier. The thing that's come out of all this is, without what has happened, not making light of it all, but without it, we would never be sat here now having a conversation where we can do what we're doing. And I would never have pushed my company in that direction. You may not have stepped out in the way you have. So when you take positives from the worst of times, hopefully what you end up with is something completely new, completely original, and something that we can then push forward to the future.
Best of the human spirit, Gary.
Absolutely. And here we are now. We never would have done this otherwise. It's great.
No.
Right, I'm going to jump over to Ruthie, who's in social media. Ruthie, how are you over there?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good. Yes, very good.
Wonderful.
What have you got for us this evening?
Well, we've got lots of questions coming in and lots of positivity coming out there. So it looks like you're going to have lots of people applying as well, which is great. But first things first, my main question, marginally off topic, but I want to know, who's had a cream egg for breakfast today?
A what?
Mm-hmm. You know what? You know.
I think my red face
Says
is
it
giving
all.
the game away.
Yeah, it's all right. It's allowed. It's lockdown. It's
so
allowed.
Well, I'm confused. Ruthie, who wants to explain this?
So we send out these forms, obviously, to people that are coming on the
Vicky's
show.
got to explain this.
Okay.
Yeah, you go for it, Vicky. Off you go.
Go on.
I'll let you dig yourself out of this.
Well, I think it just started. I mean, it's become a really terrible habit. But I think 2nd of January it was, I started seeing Easter eggs were already in the supermarkets. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to start with a January resolution of no chocolate. Like, times are tough enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to have some cream eggs. And now it's just developed, like, every morning, the first thing I crave is a cream egg. So I'm eating cream eggs at breakfast. I can't stop.
If there's one thing that's come out of the pandemic, it's that you can do what you want when you want, and no one can judge you.
Exactly.
So.
Anyway, I'm glad I got that out of the way. I was just curious as to who was going to crack first.
It's an insight into people's lives, and I'm glad we've learnt that from you. Go for it, Ruthie.
Okay, we want to know about the timeline for your project. So obviously we've got some deadlines there, but we want to know sort of what's your timeline in regards to the creative process and the steps you're going to take.
Sure. Okay. So we have got applications open from now until the 24th, which is next Wednesday. Then we will let people know about the procedure that's coming up a couple of days afterwards. And then we'll have an initial meeting on the 1st of March in the evening. Now, that initial meeting is all about bringing the actors, directors and writers together, assigning people off into smaller groups so they can get to know each other. Writers can meet the actors that they'll need to create their scenes for. Actors will be able to kind of talk about some of the roles that they like to play. And then the directors will get a feel for who they're working with as well. And then from that point, there is a period of time, 2 weeks, for the writers to then hone their 10-minute scene. So we encourage them to
write that scene according to the actors that they've got, and they'll get between 1 to 4 actors. So they might bring some preconceived ideas to the table, things that they'd like to work on. That's absolutely great, but it just needs to be adaptable to then get it into a 10-minute piece. Then from the 15th of March onwards, the actors and directors will rehearse that piece. We advise 3 hours, which will be flexible according to your schedules, ready for a final online performance that will be on the 29th of March in the evening, where they'll all be shown.
Amazing.
Wonderful. Busy time, but that sounds so exciting. So exciting.
How many sort of things are you looking at? Do you think you're going to be looking at? How many different sort of 10-minute sections? Is there quite a lot so far, or?
Well, we talked about this yesterday, didn't we, Vicky? And we were thinking that maybe 6 10-minute plays would be a good start.
Pack a punch with an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I like that.
Wonderful. Very good.
Ruthie, hit it.
Okay, we've got a question here from Benjamin Peel. Hi, Benjamin. He wants to know.
Ben.
Hi. He wants to know, are there stories you would like to see told with regards to it being Lincolnshire and rural? So is there anything that you personally would like to come out of the process story-wise?
And that's because Ben's going to write it. Because he's a great playwright, so he's going to do it. Right, go for it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
What are you going to do? What would you like? Because Ben's got his notebook right now.
Well, I know that the sort of things that I might personally like. Go on, sorry.
Sarah, go first.
One of the things we talked about, Vicky, was roles for women, didn't we? We talked about roles for women, and particularly at my advancing age, you know. But I think Lincolnshire, is he talking about Lincolnshire centric?
Well, I mean, I would say probably so, because I mean he's done various plays which have also which have gone down that line as well. The title, a game not
the Showman, the
it's gone.
Yeah,
the football one, which I did read when he did it, which was a while ago.
The Sofa Festival, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say quite possibly. Vicky, what do you think?
Ben Peel, I'm aware of some of his work, and I'm really inspired by Ben actually, because he does a lot of research within Lincolnshire and finding those untold stories of women, and it's really refreshing to see a male playwright be able to write such complex female characters that give an actor a lot to work with. So that is actually kind of connecting with Ben has been one of the really good points that I've kind of found over lockdown. I think we have had some really interesting conversations. So more of that stuff would absolutely be brilliant. But of course, I am talking from my own perspective as an actress, but I'm sure there's a lot of other things that we'd like to see as well. The greater the variety and the greater the diversity, the better. I think sometimes living in rural areas, we can get a bad rap for I don't know, we're old-fashioned, or that there's only one type of person that lives in these areas. And we'd like pieces that kind of reflect some of the surprising things maybe about Lincolnshire, or the things that you don't expect, or some of the more saucy aspects maybe.
Ben's the man, and he's on it right now. You know he is. Ruthie, you got time for one more. Give it us.
One more. Okay, so have you got any tips for any new writers out there who might have an interest in this type of thing, but might be a little bit apprehensive maybe, or not sure how to go about writing it, but might have a great idea? Any tips for those people?
Yes, great. I would say if you are a new writer, and you've got ideas, you're already halfway there. A lot of us have great ideas, but rubbish hands. Kate Tempest, a fantastic performance poet, famously says that. The difficulty is, the battle is actually doing it, getting something out there on paper or on a Word doc, whichever medium that you're using. And I think getting involved in initiatives like this as a new and aspiring writer would actually be a really good way to start off, because it's a 10-minute manageable piece. We're on hand, Sarah and I, that can kind of help guide you, or offer advice, or bounce ideas off. You've also got your actors as well that can help inspire you, or give you suggestions about the sorts of stories that they'd like to see. So I would just encourage you to do it. The application form doesn't require extensive histories or anything like that. Just be authentic to yourself. Every single person has got a story to tell and has got something to offer the artistic community. So
please just give yourselves that self-confidence to push yourself forward.
Absolutely.
And I would say no ideas are wasted ideas, because if they're your ideas, that something has made you think of that. So there's some seed, some spark, and as Vicky says, have the confidence to use that idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and apply.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the key. I think when you look at it, it's all down to, you know, what you guys are doing right now. This is the perfect opportunity. If you want to get involved, if you want to know more, if you just want to, you know, send in them forms and get talking to you guys, and let's move it on from there. We're going to ask you after the show, drop your links and everything into the chat as well, and then we'll share those over the next few days as well, before the deadline, which is Monday, did you say?
Oh, Wednesday, the 24th.
I was paying attention.
Sorry.
That's wonderful. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this evening. Let us know how it goes. We shall chat more as well, because I think we've got things we can offer here, which will help on the quest. And it should be fun to get involved with. So we shall talk more. But in the meantime, thank you both for joining us here on Stage to Stream.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, indeed. A very important advert there that we're just showing. Thanks to our guests. Previous to that, wonderful to speak to you both and all our guests this evening. You've just seen an advert there for Parking Lot Social. We're happy to announce we'll be doing Wizard of Oz this Easter. We're touring that. The one show, touring all around the UK. Outdoor, safely. You can sit in your cars and watch a show, which is wonderful. So we'll be pushing that as we know more of the dates and much, much more. It's exciting, isn't it, Ruth?
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm there, don't worry.
No, we love the Parking Lot Social. It's good fun. It's we were talking before about how it's also another medium of entertainment that's sort of been born out of this.
Yeah.
Because I think this is here to stay as well. I mean, what's better than jumping in a car and going, literally driving up to a stage to watch a show? I think it just makes it so accessible for so many people.
Yeah, I mean, when I did, I came to see the last show for both the shows I came and watched. But I watched the final show in Bristol, I believe it was, and I sat in the car right at the back just to kind of get the experience and see what it was like. And I absolutely loved it. I was sat there with my coffee. I got my heating on. I was watching the show, which are on two. You can see the stage, but there's also two massive screens either side, and they've got cameramen that zoom in and film and do everything. And the screens are insanely big. They come out of the back of articulated lorries. They're like, I think they were 40 foot or something. But an incredible, and great, because you don't have people around you like you do in theatres. And don't get me wrong, I'll still go back to theatres, but it's nice to experience other things, and not having people around you eating Maltesers and quoting the script is beautiful. What do you think, Ruth?
Oh no, absolutely. I think it's great because, like you say, it's although you get that experience being in the theatre, this is totally different. And I think this is also great for if you've got family members that struggle with social situations, and you're not sure how a trip to the theatre might be, where it's very regimented and you have to sit and be quiet, and you don't want to cause any hassle or any fuss. So I think this is brilliant. Jump in your car and you can relax at your own pace.
Yeah.
And, you can adjust the volume if it's too loud for you, turn it down or turn it up or whatever you want to do.
Well, I had a friend who's got an autistic boy who said, that they don't particularly like the theatre for that reason. They don't like all the people and the noise and stuff. But it was perfect for them because you can literally sit in your car, which is a sort of safe area, and you have the volume, as you say, at your own volume. Have a nice drink. bring your duvet, whatever you want to do, relax and enjoy the show. So it's definitely worth a look.
I think it's here to stay, that kind of entertainment as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same with all this stuff that we keep talking about. You know, there are people that fear that you know, it's going to be that, you know, will online content overtake theatre? Of course it won't. You know, theatre will come back, but also I think it can be elevated with the social online side of it, and with all these other things that we're doing. There are new ways of working, but there are also ways that complement everything else. So why can't you do a theatre tour that suddenly goes outdoors but is online? So you know, if you can't get to, as you used to do, you know, you go see a big show in London. If you can't get there, actually, you can pay to watch it online, or you could go and watch it outdoors, or you could go and to any of these different venues that have all popped up. I think it's
That's it. It's just adapting, isn't it?
yeah, it's an important time, and it's good. I think a lot will come from it.
But yeah, it's going to be a good show. Wizard of Oz. They've also got lots of other bits going on as well. But definitely come and see us if you can.
Yeah.
We're going to be all over the country. At the minute, we're going to be in York, Liverpool, Bristol, Cheltenham, Birmingham, Luton, Coventry, Newcastle and Manchester, with Scottish dates to be announced.
Amazing. Looking forward to it. Well, it's the time has flown this evening. It's almost time to go. We're going to go and watch tonight's edition because it's nearly over, sadly. I don't know what we'll do after this weekend, but Mischief Comedy is back this evening. If you want to watch that, jump online. It's £10 a ticket. It's a live show. It's improv at its finest from the people that brought you The Play Goes Wrong, Magic Goes Wrong, and all of those. Ruth, final thought for the evening?
Well, also don't forget you can also hop on to Movies to Musicals and watch Ross Gunning's fabulous show
We'll be watching that as well.
So any of the links that you want are in the stream right now. So if you scroll all the way back up, you can find all the ways to get in touch with the man called G. We've also got all of Ross Gunning's links in there as well, and you can donate as well in there. And of course, don't forget all the application links for the Fabulous Project Links Camera Action as well. So it's all there for you. So you can send all your weekend researching and watching lots of different things.
Nice.
But a thought from me for your weekend: never play leapfrog with a unicorn.
Yeah, that could be painful.
Don't do it.
No. It's been a pleasure. We've got loads of people we're booked for next week already, but we are looking for more guests as well. If you want to jump on the list, we've got some very exciting guests coming up as well. Some great people that I'm looking forward to chatting to next week. We'll save that for a surprise, but I think we've got one space left next week, and then it goes to the week after. So if you want to join in, do so.
Also, we're going across the pond.
We are.
We are. More information to come. Exciting guests. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Is that it?
Yeah. Oh, did you want to know who was coming on next week?
No, save it a surprise.
Okay. You have to tune in on Monday to find out.
Because we're off for the weekend. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, share this video. Give us some interaction. We need to get to, we'll point this out now, we need to get to at least 10,000 likes and follows. That elevates us to the next level of, of streaming. So that's where we're heading now. We've already done 1,000. I think we're at 1,049, maybe more than that in the first couple of weeks, which is incredible. And thanks to everybody who's been joining us. Our videos are regularly getting 1,500 to 1,800 views, which is a great start for us. So we need to do more now. We need to push them. And of course, for all of you that have joined us already and are part of the Stage to Stream family, we need you to help us. So if you know friends, you can jump on the page and you can actually share to all your friends. If you know people that are in the business that you think would enjoy this, a bit of a chat, something different, then send them the link and get them involved. 10,000 is where we need to get to. And really, ideally, by I think we'll be optimistically. No, we won't be optimistic. We're going to push for no later than August the 1st, which is a lot going on. So we've already done 1,000, nearly 1,100. Yeah,
in 3 weeks.
That's
so
not bad going.
If you work on that,
we should be there. That would be nice. But that elevates this platform to a whole new level if we can get to 10,000, and then beyond there, the sky is the limit. It's been an absolute pleasure this evening. Say good night, Ruthie.
Good night, Ruthie.
Oh, wonderful. And we will be back on Monday, 6 p.m, live on StageToStream.tv. Hope you've enjoyed yourself. Thanks to all our guests. Stay safe wherever you are. It's soon going to be over and we can get back to normal and get back in the theatre, which would be lovely. In the meantime, take care.